WTF.
Here, here.
Please to withdraw that comment and to use parliamentary language, please.
Where's the funds? Where's the funds? $250 million. WTF.
Well, there was a ruckus in the House. Then there was protests.
Questions that need to be answered, and that's why we're expecting and supporting all relevant authorities to follow up on these irregular contracting and this perhaps breaking of the rules. This is an important issue, and that's why we're taking it seriously, Mr. Speaker.
WTF.
Here, here.
The Liberal Master of Divination, Rob Oliphant, since 2015, Don Valley MP, he was caught on the microphone, and he was very upset about the cutting of UNRWA. Word got out. That was the big news of the week. Still waiting on hearing from the pre-MO office about it. Next we have MP Brock, who is the master of making of word salads with witnesses on basically all committees. He's their go-to guy for that kind of committee grillings.
This Arrive Can scandal that seems to be dominating the House of Commons and Canadian. I'm going to be focusing in on you, Mr. Jones. During the pandemic, when the cost of this Arrive scam scandal ballooned to over $60 million, 4 years worth of emails constituting close to 1,700 emails in total just mysteriously disappeared. How can that happen?
Without knowing the circumstances, I can come up with a lot of different scenarios in the IT world.
Correct?
It is part of our responsibilities. Yes.
And the level of seriousness increases dependent on the position that a public servant holds. In this case, a low-level administrative data entry individual is vastly different in terms of the serious scale than the vice president of the CBSA when you reference deleting emails. Would you agree with that? When was the president, Aaron O'Gorman, informed about Mr. Doan's deleted emails?
We have not concluded that there were any deleted emails.
When was she informed, sir?
She was informed of the allegations when I received them.
Of the deleted emails?
The allegations as I received them.
When was it?
December 11th is when I received them. I can't recall exactly which date I would have.
When was the Auditor General notified of 4 years' worth of deleted relevant emails?
The $60 million carries on MP Brock in the report 1 from the AG Hogan, Auditor General. So there's a, pardon me, there's another thing. And then next we have the maid gets canceled. Check
Emergency is an excuse for throwing the rules out of the window. These are some really basic elements that I would have expected to see. Documenting a decision on who is being selected and why they have the skills to carry out the work that you need done. Basic bookkeeping factors that I would expect to see. Invoices well supported, making it clear what work should be charged to what
your
project
audit.
that's
They
on.
voted against your audit. They routinely shut down committees. Just last week, they shut down the committee that you and I were involved in when it was revealed that the RCMP were investigating. All of a sudden, they brought a motion to adjourn. And just last week, a release of the preliminary report by the CBSA investigator was too scary for some Liberal members, and they required a complete shutdown of witnesses to study the ArriveCan. So it's abundantly clear what they were trying to hide. This is a gross misuse of taxpayer funds. You indicated the public service should do
So we're
better.
crystal clear. On March 17th, it will be possible in this country for someone whose mental illness is their sole underlying condition to avail themselves of MAID. And that would occur in the province of Medicine Hat, Carson, Warner, which is the province of Alberta. That would also occur in the province of New Brunswick, who the member from Tobique-Mactaquac represents. Both of those ministers of health for New Brunswick and Alberta have said to us unequivocally that their systems, their healthcare systems, their MAID assessors and providers are not ready. I do not want a situation where we've got that kind of lay of the land in terms of the criminal law in Canada. We have the power to prevent that from happening.
I keep
by voting
saying
in favor
the
of this bill.
Conservatives should be raising funds on MAID, but they're not. Next, we have Guy Beau and his silly statements about no roads. I don't imagine he's going to be a minister much longer, the way he's been. Yeah. Check this out.
The Honourable Minister for Environment and Climate Change.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. You want to know the truth? Climate change is real. That's the truth. You want to know the truth? Climate change is impacting Canadians all over the country, including farmers from coast to coast, Mr. Speaker. You want to know the truth about climate change? It's costing Canadians billions of dollars. That's the truth about climate change. Our plan is working. We are reducing emissions. We're helping Canadians with affordability. That's the truth, Mr. Speaker. Let's speak the truth.
It's not even Wednesday, and we seem to be all amped up.
That's the truth of it.
The Honourable Member says, wait until summer. Truer words have never been spoken. The Honourable Member for Dauphin River, Swan River, Neepawa.
Mr. Speaker, if the Liberals do not measure the results of their carbon tax, there are no results.
Committee, and do what you will.
I'm going to take offense that you're arbitrary. I'm happy, colleagues, if you want to be like other committees and stick to every little point and we'll get nothing done and run it that way. Or we can have one where we can agree to do stuff, but that's the will. Suspend will be fine, but before we suspend...
Point of order.
You see, this is... well, this is what you wish, Mr. Backrack.
Okay, so I know the standing orders very well, and I just say that following the rules is important to me, and the rules provide that when debate is adjourned, either through the adjournment of debate or the adjournment of a motion, a member can, after any time has passed, move a dilatory motion to resume consideration of the original motion. So Mr. Backrack has that right. Regardless of whether we suspend or adjourn, he can bring this back and request that the committee at any time of his choosing. The motions...
Yeah, okay. Before we suspend, I get understanding we're going to suspend, which is fine, but before we do so, I will ask that we have UC then that we will distribute that on a SharePoint to the P9s only.
Yes.
Perfect. We have agreement for that, and then if we have a motion to suspend, and we seem to have agreement on that. Thank you, colleagues.
It's really hard to be listening to the debate right now with the level of noise from the Conservative bench. It's like a coffee chat over there while we're trying to do some important work. I would ask if they could please listen.
I take notice, and I did call to order twice during the
Well, auto crime was on the menu, and it looks like they solved it on the large ports. They will get a little bit of new equipment, some new money. Smaller ports, why game? Here is the auto parts. Auto
and I do remind members to be respectful of one another. One is speaking, the Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. After 8 years...
After 8 years, this Prime Minister is not worth the cost. After 8 years, he's not worth the crime. After 8 years, he's not worth the cost of crime. Crime is costly because after 8 years of this Prime Minister, we're paying $1 billion in higher insurance premiums to pay for the stolen cars. That adds, in Ontario, $120 to the insurance bill of every family that has a car.
Personally, I thought the auto theft got a few jabs in. Overall, it's not a big winner. The housing
Be done
is one
still at
big
this time
one.
of uncertainty,
Check this
and we
out.
will be here to work with all parties who want to protect journalism, unlike the Conservatives. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Years, this Prime Minister is not worth the cost of housing, which has doubled since he promised to lower it. But there is good news. Rent is down for the 8th consecutive month in the United States. Right. Meanwhile, it has more than doubled under this Prime Minister. It's up 9% in the last year alone. Can the Prime Minister explain why is rent going down in the States while it skyrockets under his leadership here at home?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
I'd like to give the Leader of the Opposition another opportunity to apologize for referring to Ukraine as disparagingly as a faraway foreign land.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Speaker, the question was about rent in Canada. Rent prices have doubled after 8 years of this Prime Minister. They have tripled in his home city of Montreal. And now, according to the Home Builders of Canada, they expect that construction numbers will actually plummet this year relative to the prior years. They say that this will lead to higher prices, and they say we require, quote, policy changes to reverse it. Will the Prime Minister finally accept a common sense plan to build the homes so Canadians can afford the rent?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, once again, I didn't hear an apology to Ukrainians. I encourage him to do that. People are waiting for it. At the same time, Mr. Speaker, I can remind this House that we have signed dozens of Housing Accelerator Fund agreements across the country that are leading to the construction of hundreds of thousands of new homes in the coming years. We've eliminated GST off of purpose-built rental apartments. We're moving forward on an interest-free savings account for first-time homebuyers. But again, I encourage the Leader of the Opposition to apologize for referring to Ukraine as some faraway foreign land.
I think the housing file is the big one, but also the NDP are always on this pharmacare bill. That's things. March is going to be a shift. Like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.